What's up, guys? You are very welcome to the Late Night Agenda here on the Anfield Agenda YouTube channel. I'm your host, Craig. Do you know what? I was settling in for what I thought was going to be a quiet night tonight. I thought, we'll take ahead, we'll talk about a few things, the Arsenal game tomorrow, we'll go through team selections. And sure, nothing big is going to happen today on a Friday. Holy fuck. Ladies and gentlemen, the world of football could well be turned upside down with the news that has broken tonight. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to wait for more people to join before we go through it. But look, you guys haven't been under a stone. I'm sure you guys have seen the news that has come out today. Corruption at the very top of the game, perhaps. Manchester City involved. Paris Saint-Germain involved. Then there's talk of a European breakaway Super League. Guys, there is so much for us to get through tonight. I've gone through the details as quickly as I can to get you guys as much information as I can. It is stunning stuff, guys. Stunning stuff after coming out from football leaks tonight. Do you guys remember the Ronaldo story? The allegations around Cristiano Ronaldo and the rape allegations there came out via a German article or a German publication called Der Spiegel. Well, this has come out via the same site, guys. Lots and lots and lots to get to. Look, if you're joining in tonight wondering what's going to happen with the Arsenal game, if you're joining in tonight to get Liverpool fan talk, please bear with us because we have a lot to get through. Guys, this could be massive. This could be game-changing stuff. I'm going to wait. As I said, lots of people coming in. I haven't even said my hellos yet. Glenn, Subi, Farrell, Cameron, Stig, Meganonki, Ben. How are we? How is everybody? Paul, Glenn, apologies if I missed anybody, but God, I'm a little bit shaken tonight with this news. This is big news, guys. Big news in the world of football. Right, so let's get straight into it. A lot of people coming in, a lot of people saying, look, do tell. I haven't seen it yet. Let me know. Come on, you bald idiot. Right, guys, look, I'm going to read some of this from my phone, so if you see me glancing, it's because I want to get the details correct. Breaking news tonight. Football leaks allege that Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City bribed UEFA via Gianni Infantino, Michel Platini in PSG's case and the ex-France president Nicolas Sarkozy in Manchester City's case to avoid financial fair play sanctions. This information has come via Der Spiegel, as we've said. Let me just go back over that just to make it clear. Breaking tonight. Football leaks alleges that Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City have bribed UEFA via Gianni Infantino and Michel Platini in Paris Saint-Germain's case and ex-France president Nicolas Sarkozy in Manchester City's case to avoid financial fair play sanctions. Guys, that was a tough sentence to read out. It sounds like just words rolling out of my mouth or something I'm reading off a page, but let's think about this. Like, let's go through this. A lot of people saying they aren't surprised at all by it. And you know what? That's a sad thing for us all to say. I'm one of those people. I'm not going to point fingers here yet at Paris Saint-Germain. I'm not going to point fingers at Manchester City. That is not for me to do. All I can do now is just go through what's been put out there tonight by these publications. Let you guys give me your understanding of it and we'll share what combined knowledge we have of the situation. It's also alleged tonight, guys, and this is another big thing. This does involve Liverpool. So yeah, this does involve Liverpool, so pay close attention to this one, guys. It's also alleged tonight that 16 European clubs, including Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool plan to sign a letter of intent later this month to start establishing a new European Super League to replace the UEFA Champions League. This is reportedly supposed to start from 2021. Now, guys, we've spoken about this before. We've spoken about the possibility of a European Super League. And there's, look, the legal implications to that and the ramifications that could go alongside that, I don't even want to get into at this point. You could be talking players expelled from playing for their international countries. You could be talking massive fines, there's so much that, look, is way above my pay grade. I'm trying to get through this as quickly as I can. So on the talk of this around the new European Super League, there's talk that the 17 teams with the strongest TV presences from England, Spain, Italy, Germany and France would compete permanently in a European league. The Bundesliga clubs participating in the league would include Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund and Schalke. The 18th participant would be a team from Portugal, Russia or the Netherlands, even perhaps Turkey. I'm just reading through these comments as they're going up. The league would run for 34 weeks with matches on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Saturdays. There'd also be a knockout round at the end of the season. Here comes the real shocker for me, guys, and I think the reason why you see this might be possible. Amazingly, it was mentioned in this article that each of the top clubs taking part in this European Super League could each achieve an annual revenue of in excess of €500 million. That is €500 million a year turnover. This is absolutely fucking mental. I don't even know where to start with this. We'll go back. We'll talk about the stuff around Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain. Many of us in our ignorance and our, we don't have all the information on this, but it would seem to many of us that Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City have been skirting around the rules. It looks like that they got away with it a little bit. Well, look, this story is just going to break and break. Sky have even started to run with it, although they're a little bit behind. Sometimes I like to give the major news outlets a little bit of credit for being a bit behind, because with their reputations, I suppose, and with the legalities involved, they have to fact check to the hilt. Well, they should be fact checking to the hilt. But money does ruin football. A lot of people saying it. Megan Onke in there as well. On the whole Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City thing, this runs quite deep. I mean, this is going through politics. This is going through nations almost. One of the things that I've seen with regards to this, and again, a lot of it will come out. There'll be some more people much more in better positions than me to let you guys, guide you guys through this over the coming days. But one of the things that stood out for me was that some of the sponsorship deals that Manchester City have signed have been above 80% above the market value or the worth of those deals. And this is independent people who have come in and assessed this, have said that it's the sponsorship deals that Manchester City have signed, some of them, are 80% above the market value of what they should have been worth to that club at that time. That is absolutely astronomical. We've all talked on here, we've joked about the Etihad being sold out apparently, but empty seats all over the place. We've spoken about Middle Eastern oil money coming in. We've spoken about all this type of stuff. And again, we have to be careful. These are only allegations. I'm not coming on here saying that Manchester City are diddling the rules. I'm not coming on saying that Paris Saint-Germain are diddling the rules. What I'm coming on here to say is that this has been broken by football leagues. It's been published in their Spiegel. If you want to go onto Twitter, Google their Spiegel English. The account will be on there, or Google search their Spiegel English. The account will be on there. All that information is there. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. This could rock the world of football as we know it. Gianni Infantino was brought in to try and straighten up the game. We all assumed that when Sepp Blatter was pushed out, that might be the start of football cleaning up its act. It seems like this runs deep. There are some emails that have been circulated between Gianni Infantino and people high up at Manchester City, and they're not great emails. I don't want to say what they include because I can't remember fully off the top of my head, and it would be unfair for me to just throw those out there without having the absolute facts to back it up. Guys, I'm rocked. I'm absolutely rocked, shocked, bowled over, mind blown. I'm half expecting a statement to come out on Manchester City's behalf, and excuse this as a bit of a shitty joke, but I'm half expecting a statement to come out and say, with regards to the allegations made against Manchester City Football Club and the improprieties with the financial situation, Manchester City would like to categorically state that the can of Copperberg thrown by the Liverpool fans toward the Manchester City's team coach overrides all of this, and therefore the blame should be placed solely on Liverpool Football Club and their fans for begrudging Pep his Champions League. That's kind of where I'm expecting this to go with regards to this stupidity. These fuckers have been coming on here slagging off our club. They've been coming on belittling us. Well, let's see how they fit now. Let's see how they fit when the shoe is on the other foot. When people who have 8 months of an investigation, by the way, into this by the Spiegel. You can often tell by the reaction of people how this is going to go. The reaction from Manchester City, the reaction that I've seen from, I don't know if it was FIFA or UEFA, one of the two governing bodies, excuse me, is that they're more concerned if this information was hacked to get the information. So what they're trying to say is that their Spiegel and anybody else that are breaking these stories have a right to let the authorities know if this information has been misappropriated or this information has been taken illegally. Now, that is a fair point. You do have to assess that when you're looking at this information. But at the same time, if the information was obtained illegally, I'm sure that they can skirt around it somehow and they can get away with it. But if the information is true, even if it was gained illegally, us as footballing fans and footballing people, sponsors, will know that the game is fucking dirty, the game is corrupt. It's disgusting, guys. Absolutely disgusting. Now, again, if anybody wonders what this all runs down to, I'll just circle back around again to the figure that I spoke about. If there's a pan-European breakaway league, European Super League, excuse me, if you want to call it that. And look, let's be honest here. Apparently Liverpool are involved in this. Liverpool are one of the founding 11, I believe it's called, that are wanting to push ahead with this. Well, one of the leaks said that this could be worth €500 million to each club. €500 million. Now, just to put that into consideration, at the same time I was reading this, it said that Real Madrid's turnover that year was something in and around €80 million. Whether that be TV revenue, I'm not saying their turnover, excuse me, that's probably incorrect. Their TV revenue, I believe, was €80 million for that season. Well, if you're looking at bringing in a possible €500 million, I mean, that's a game changer. This is moving football away again. I want to get your reaction, guys. We'll go through it. I'm sure people have been through this more clearly than I have. I haven't had that much of a chance to read through it, but I'm sure people have had a chance to look through some of the stories. There's pages and pages and pages and pages of stuff to go through. Relegate Manchester City to the lowest possible division if true. Cameron says, blimey, get us in that Super League. Well, we are down, mate, to be fair. Liverpool are involved in this story because Liverpool are one of the clubs, the 11, I think they're called the founding members or something like that, or something along those lines. Liverpool are there. Liverpool are apparently willing to want to go and push ahead to get into this European Super League. How do you guys feel about that? Before we even get stuck into the Manchester City stuff, before we get stuck into the PSG stuff, I mean, we all knew that getting around that FFP was a bit fucking iffy by both clubs. We can only bow down to the forensic accountants and the people who did the investigations because they have access to stuff that we're going to never see. But at the same time, we know how fucking creative accounting can be. To the lay person on the street, looking at it from the outside, it seemed like there wasn't a level playing field. I mean, we've seen when Fenway Sports Group came into Liverpool Football Club, they spoke about one of the reasons they bought the club was because they believed financial fair play was going to be implemented and that it was going to be a level playing field right across the board. It clearly hasn't been. People can say Liverpool have spent a shit ton of money. Absolutely, 100% correct. Again, I'd like to point you back to where that money came from. Liverpool earned that money through competing in European competition, through selling some of their best players, to being very fucking clever in what they've done. Some of the sponsorship deals around Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City are disgraceful. And as I said before, one of the things that I read in particular said that one of the Manchester City sponsorship agreements was 80% above the current market value for what that deal should have been worth. 80%. That's ridiculous. That's saying it's 5 times, basically, the deal it should have been. That's absolutely crazy. This would finish off smaller clubs, said Stephen Richards. It really would, mate. Hope you see City's dip in form after this break-in. I know Manchester City, while we're on there, people last night were asking about the Kevin De Bruyne situation. I'm sure most of you have seen today, but it looks like Kevin De Bruyne is going to be out for 5 to 6 weeks. So look, that's just touching on that, but guys, my head's blown. Absolutely blown. I had my agenda done out for tonight. And then all of a sudden this started breaking and I had to start going back over things. I had to read through things as quickly as I could. They need to relegate City like the Italian FA relegated Juventus back in the mid-2000s. Absolute mugs, ruining football because they want to fatten their pockets. If City are punished, will we win the Premier League? Do you know what? Even at this stage, even with what I've read today, I've no belief that they're going to be punished. I've no belief that Paris Saint-Germain will be punished. I've no belief that UEFA will turn this around, that FIFA will be run properly. I personally have absolutely no fucking belief. Pasta Dude said, we're involved in this scandal too. To an extent, mate, yes, we are. We're involved in the European Breakaway League or the European Super League. But that's nothing new. This isn't really something that should be a shock to anybody. This European Super League has been spoken about for a very long time. But I did not believe the type of figures. I mean, I just didn't ever think that you could be talking €500 million a year in television revenue. Craig, Nike basically picked a Brazilian team, approved it in the 1998 World Cup final. Platini is a scumbag and he's as bad as Blatter was. Well, look, Platini is involved in this as well. And again, I'm not going to say if Manchester City or Paris Saint-Germain are guilty because that's not my place to do. All I'm saying is, from the outside, with our untrained eyes, in our sheer ignorance, it looks to me like they had a different playing field to the rest of us with regards to the deals they were bringing in and the money that they were able to spend. As I said, I go back to simple things like the Etihad being sold out every week, but yet there's 15,000 empty seats inside the stadium, and we're supposed to swallow that. X amount of people just didn't show up. I mean, there were season tickets that were sold, but people just didn't show up. Fuck off. Be honest, like, come on. Blame it on the bus, said Megan Onke. I mean, that's probably next. I mean, Copperberg are probably going to end up being fined for this. Paul Gormley said, a fine is not going to work. Points or expulsion from the Champions League or even relegation is only fair if the news is 100% true. The Super League will happen, but it's the promotion and relegation that I wonder how it will work. Again, you're probably looking at two leagues there, mate. You're probably looking at like a Super Premier League and then a lower division. But that's just a guess at this point. Good evening, kids, said Sam. Anyone joining us for the first time tonight, by the way, welcome, and what a night you will have picked to tune into the channel. My name is Craig, by the way. I'm the host of the channel on here. This is a Liverpool channel, Liverpool fan community. With this news, we may have fans from outside clubs watching or coming in to join us, and you're all very welcome. We're very welcome and fair people on here. If you're a Manchester City fan, if you're a Paris Saint-Germain fan, instead of just coming on saying, fuck you, you bald nonce, fuck you, you egg, please do come on and give us your thoughts. Let us know your side of things. Let me know what you think if you're a Manchester City fan, if you're a Paris Saint-Germain fan, if you're one of the clubs involved in the European Super League breakaway, like Liverpool are. We are one of the clubs mentioned in that league. Again, just to go through the clubs for everybody, they have said that it is 16 European clubs, including Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool. That's 5 Premier League clubs involved in this, guys. And pretty much all of Europe's big clubs. I've seen some other lists that have, I don't know if they're called backup teams or something like that, but Atletico Madrid were on that list, Roma were on that list. I think AC Milan may have been on that list. Don't quote me on the AC Milan one. I'm not 100% certain on that one. One of the members of the investigation council fell ill and passed away. And this is very poignant, actually. Well done, LS3_5. I completely forgot about this in my rush to get on the air. So, when the investigation into Manchester City's financial situation was ongoing, when the investigation into whether they'd breached FFP was ongoing, an employee or somebody who was part of the investigation fell ill and sadly passed away. And there was a Manchester City internal email, I believe, that has been hacked or that has been pulled, and the email read 1 dead, 6 to go with regards to the investigators. So there was obviously 7 people involved in that investigation, and the email read 1 dead, 6 to go. I don't know what to say to that. Just from a human perspective, that's disgusting. Guys, it's a massive night. This could possibly be a historic night for football. It's Copperberg's fault, said Steve. Man, it's always Copperberg's fault. And God bless Copperberg, by the way. We love Copperberg on here. We're not in any way diminishing Copperberg. We're very big fans of Copperberg. I agree with the relegation team, but can you imagine if we win the league and they were tossed out? They tried to use it to whip us with, fake victory, blah, blah. Look, mate, look, a lot of things have to happen, but whatever happens, if they get fucked out, it's because they were cheating. And I reiterate, if they get fucked out, it's because they were cheating. Big if there. City need to be relegated to pass the dude. Super League could be a sneaky move to stop City fans booing the Champions League music. There's a bit of a long way to go, Damo, just for that one. It's a little bit of an overreaction if that was the case. Cask Strength said, agree, you can't punish multi-billionaires with fines. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Sanctions against the clubs. That's the only way these fuckers are going to feel it. You giving them a couple of £100 million fine ain't going to do jack shit. Get rid of those 2 oil clubs, said Pasta Dude. I haven't really had time to look deeply into the Paris Saint-Germain side of this, so I do apologise. Maybe somebody out there is reading this as we speak and can share or can put into the chat some of the quotes or some of the major parts from the findings today. It's absolutely mad though. Does this mean Mbappe to Liverpool? Hopefully. Hopefully. I doubt it, but hopefully. Liverpool are to take the blame because they ruined their Airbus unbeaten and our Champions League journey. That's it. It's all our fault. We did it. That kind of Copperberg. If it wasn't for that kind of Copperberg, if it wasn't for those pesky kids. Brian said, special invites. Milan are a founder team. Inter Milan will be the invited team, said Brian Morrissey. It's really sad that, Craig. It's disgusting, mate. It really is fucking disgusting what's going on here. Or the allegations made, I should say. It's disgusting. I was thinking regarding relegation, let's say 4 teams are relegated and 2 teams for the Premier League go down. That would have to mean 2 teams get promoted from the Premier League. Just for some people who are late, who aren't really sure what we're talking about here at the minute, I just want to go back over to reiterate. So, the breaking news tonight, and this comes from Der Spiegel via Football Leaks, alleges that Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City bribed UEFA. In Paris Saint-Germain's case, it was via Gianni Infantino and Michel Platini, and in Manchester City's case, it was apparently via Nicolas Sarkozy. And just making sure I've got this right. Manchester City, Gianni Infantino in PSG's case, and I have that right. So it was Gianni Infantino and Michel Platini in Paris Saint-Germain's case, and ex-French President Nicolas Sarkozy in the case of Manchester City. I mean, that's pretty fucking high up there. We're talking about the president of a country at this point being involved in this corruption. It also alleged that 16 European clubs, including Liverpool, I should say, also Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea and Arsenal, so that would make 5 English clubs, have been in discussions and are going to sign a letter of intent this month apparently to establish a new European Super League to replace the Champions League that would apparently start in 2021. Big Sam to be the next FIFA president. Oh, I mean, he would fit in there, mate. I mean, there wouldn't be enough brown envelopes. I mean, brown envelopes would be the big business, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be the business to go into there. Brown envelopes and gravy, the literal gravy train. That's what would be happening if Sam got in charge. Why aren't Arsenal on it? They are, mate. They are part of the league. Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea. So Spurs wouldn't be on that list, for example. I wonder how Pep feels about it, because I believe he's a true soccer man. Well, look, from a managerial point of view, he's a manager. I mean, Pep Guardiola is a manager. He doesn't deal with the money. He deals with training the players, maybe negotiating with some players to bring them in. I don't even think he does that. I think Tiki Begiristain does that. So I'm not in any way suggesting that Pep Guardiola is implicit in this. It's the guys at the top of the game, the guys at the tops of the clubs. The managers may well have absolutely fuck all to do with this. Also, apparently a Madrid player was taking drugs whilst winning all those UEFA Champions League titles and they bribed UEFA not to say anything. I think it said that, but if it's true, I bet it's Ramos, said Ferno. Damo said, on a happier note, the best part of Halloween now has to be Luis Garcia's video of a ghost playing football in his house. That was pretty damn good, to be fair. Pep must be gutted, said Mod of the Stream. What corruption did FIFA make? I'm not understanding the question, mate. What corruption did FIFA make? Well, it says here that the officials were bribed by Paris Saint-Germain or Manchester City, or alleged that the officials were bribed. FIFA's so corrupt, sadly, then they would let this happen. And said, how on earth a city of big European clubs can't fill their ground, yet act like they're a big club? Can't prove it though. Guys, look, this story is going to break over the next number of days. More information is going to come out. We're going to hear things talking about information being illegally obtained. We're going to hear stuff from the other side to say that they've got it from reputable sources, yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, I don't think many of us have a belief that this will be dealt with properly, that the true sanctions that deserve to be enforced will be enforced. As usual, there will be a lot of noise, a lot of talk of things needing to change, maybe some people being moved out, some new people being brought in, but at the end of the day, we thought this when Gianni Infantino took over, and it doesn't seem to have changed. Let's just wait and see what happens. I just had to talk about this. Maybe as the stream goes on tonight, there'll be more news on this. Maybe you guys can do me a favour and pull out some more excerpts from these articles while we're online here. I know, Ferno, you're good for stuff like this, buddy. Connor as well, mate. If you're watching, go on Der Spiegel. If you go onto the Anfield Agenda Twitter account, there's a couple of tweets on there. You can click in via there and get the information as well. It's big stuff, guys. Big stuff. So again, the 17 teams from the strongest TV presences from England, Spain, Italy, Germany and France would compete permanently in the European League. The Bundesliga clubs participating in the league would include Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund and Schalke, and the 18th participant would be a team from Portugal, Russia, the Netherlands or Turkey. So just one more team to go in. The league would run for 34 weeks a year with matches on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Saturdays. There'd be a knockout round at the end of the season. And amazingly, it was mentioned that the top clubs could possibly earn up to €500 million a year in annual revenues. That is absolutely mind-boggling. Mind-boggling stuff, guys. If we look at this purely from a Liverpool-centric point of view, how would you guys feel about Liverpool joining a super European league? So if we're going to say here that it says that the league would run for 34 weeks, that's quite long. That's, 34 weeks is a long league. If you look, there's 38 games in the Premier League, possibly 4 less, but there'd be no European competition then as well. So you're talking less games for clubs possibly, so less games for us fans to see. Although let's see how this would work from a TV selling point of view. Would we perhaps be able to buy packages to watch our fucking team every week? Are you absolutely against this? Would this ruin football as we know it? There's so much I'd like to hear, guys. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Fuck the Super League, Craig, said Ferno. They can fuck off with it. All they want to do is remove the Champions League. Arsenal have come out and saying they're not part of it, said Niall. Look, mate, if they are part of it, it's going to be fairly easy to prove it. If there's emails or there's stuff coming out that have Arsenal involved in it, Arsenal would want to be very fucking confident that they really aren't involved if they've come out and said they aren't. Now, if they aren't, absolutely, they're perfectly within their rights to come out and deny it. And then you have to look at these allegations all over again. And if some of the things prove to be false, then you have to question everything. But it's a very bold statement if Arsenal have definitely come out and said that. Have we heard anything from Liverpool Football Club about this yet? Before I came on, I hadn't read anything, so I've got to be honest about that. Wait, so you're saying that Man City and PSG might get a fine or something? They could be relegated, mate. Nothing could happen. There's so many things that could happen here that we could be here all night discussing possibilities. Christopher said, absolutely fuck all will happen. No fine, no point deduction, and no being out of the league regarding City and PSG if the story is true. More shite will leak out, said Rod. Fasten your seatbelts. Der Spiegel has about 70 million documents regarding football deals and football leaks, said Stig. 70 million documents. Holy fuck. That is a lot. And remember, guys, this is the publication that broke the Cristiano Ronaldo, Catherine Mayorga rape allegation story. So, again, not somebody just sitting there in their Twitter account in their ma's bedroom putting this stuff out there. As Stig has said, Der Spiegel has about 70 million documents regarding football cases and football deals from football leagues. That is absolutely mind-bending. Craig, who are Der Spiegel? Are they reputable? I actually think I just answered that this second before I read the question, so good timing. Where else are we? I'd hate the Super League. It'll ruin football for me. It doesn't feel normal, said Ferno. The UEFA Champions League is part of our LFC and it's a rich history. There's something beautiful about the European Cup. Whether you call it the Champions League or you call it the European Cup, there's something beautiful about it. And you're right, we do have a history with it. A beautiful history. It's a money grab. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's a money grab. If we're talking about the European Super League, it's an absolute money grab. What you're going to have there then is the whole aspect of tribalism is going to be taken out of it. You're not going to have those local derbies. You're not going to have that local rivalry. Like Manchester United are going to be in this league apparently, but no Everton. So no derby days for Reds. Manchester City are going to be in it. Spurs haven't been listed in it, by the way, so far. So again, you're talking about a major difference to the way we would view, the way we would support, and the way we would receive football. It's something that I wouldn't like to happen this way. I would rather have seen the Champions League restructured than see this happen in a breakaway league. It's a money grab. Let's be honest. If it happens, it's a money grab. We've already seen stories this week about, was it this week or last week, where Barcelona and the La Liga were denied the right to go and play a couple of games in America in their season. They said FIFA have said it's against, or UEFA, one of them, I'm not sure which one, have said it's against the rules and it just won't be happening. And La Liga have said that they're willing to go to the European Court of Arbitration for Sport to try and get that one turned over. And again, why would they want to do that? Why would they want to play games over in America? Money. At the end of the day, they have an agreement with an American company to promote themselves over there, and it's a money grab yet again. Taking the games out of their own league, out of their own country, just to go over there and make a few quid. Farwell says, as typical, Manchester/London worshipping ESPN, not even a headline on this subject. Wow. That's fucking nuts. Even Sky have managed to get their finger out on this one and put a story out there. I'm against it. Small clubs don't even get a chance, said LFC_5. I'd rather go watch the local Sunday League footy than watch this Super League shite, said Ant. City will never win the UEFA Champions League, said Liverpool legend. They're not going to win it anyway, to be fair. We have 0 Super League trophies and 5 Champions League trophies. I know it's competition I'd want to be part of. Bayern denied knowing anything about the Super League. Well, they're one of the clubs that I had read more documents on than I'd seen other clubs in my little time reading about it. So, Papot said Arsenal are not part of Super League. Well, everything I've read today, mate, says that they are. Said that they've been involved in the conversations. Let me just double check again. Trying to go through the name. Yeah. Just to confirm, the names again that I'd read are Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal and Liverpool. The Super League would be midweek, Premier League would be the weekends, is how I read it. No, mate, not at all. It says here that the league was down to be played on a Tuesday, Wednesday and Saturday. So, take from that what you will. I don't know, maybe they're talking about some of the knockout games being on a Saturday perhaps. I don't know, but of course if they're on a Saturday then that would conflict with the Premier League, wouldn't it? Unless it was the final, because I mean the European final now has been moved to a Saturday, but if they're talking about regular games taking place on a Saturday, a Tuesday and a Wednesday, then you would think that it is in place of. But again, you never know. There's no way, by the way, that there's going to be a team playing in the Premier League and then playing 34 games a season in the European competition. That's just not going to happen. There's far too many games of football there. Stephen said, money, money, money must be funny in a rich club's world. The WWE is going to Saudi. They're there today. I think it's already happened actually, Dirty Girl, that event. The second time, I think, as well. And John Cena took a stand on this one as far as I remember. He wasn't happy with the WWE going over to Saudi for this one. The Jewel or something it was called. I think it took place earlier on today. I went out for a bit. What have I missed? Whew. It's easier, mate. It's tough to catch up on this one. Talking about alleged corruption in UEFA, in FIFA, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain. We're talking about a possible European Super League breakaway with 16 clubs in it. 16 clubs down so far. Liverpool included in that. Also Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and debatably Arsenal. Some people are saying no, some people are saying yes. So Arsenal will put in quotation marks. Thomas Boland said, City to be relegated and players to be moved on. Who should we try and get? If the Super League was to happen, I'd want it to happen every 2 years after the Champions League is finished, like the World Cup, said Sam Roos. There was some proposal put, wasn't there, to extend the World Club Championship or something, Sam? There was a proposal put in there, and I can't remember the ins and outs of it, but it was, it was something similar. It was a bit more of a hefty tournament than the current one. Stig said, Bayern are mentioned as a founder club, but I understand that they only meant that they could not be relegated. It's not necessary that they have been part of the discussions. Again, I could be incorrect, but I'm sure I'd read a few things earlier on surrounding Bayern Munich in this. But look, though, again, this is all breaking and moving fast, so if anything we're saying is incorrect, again, I'm just pulling out stories that I'm reading. We don't want to put out stuff purposely incorrect. Of course we don't want to do that. We just want to try and start a conversation and talk about the facts of the facts as we know them of this moving story. It is a moving story. I agree, Craig. Let's go back to a straight knockout competition and let the first 6 teams from European leagues take part. Let the money trickle down some way. Next move is a World League, said Meganonki. Dirty Girl said, I think the owners, America, know they're not getting enough money. I would disagree to an extent, although I would not disagree that anybody who owns a football club would probably want more money. I get you on that one, but you look at already what FSG, I just want to use them as an example because it's the only real figures I know, I suppose. They bought Liverpool for in and around £260 million, I think, something like that. Even rounded up to 300 million if we want to be generous. Now look at the club's value. It's valued at over £1 billion, so they've more than trebled the cost of their, or the value of their asset. Yes, they've invested money. Yes, they've invested in infrastructure. All that stuff is there. They've invested in capital projects, so you can argue that side of it as well, but at the end of the day, there's a reason they don't want to sell as well. Because there's more money to come out of this Premier League. They know that most owners know the Premier League is a cash cow at this point. There's a reason as well why Daniel Levy felt comfortable putting Spurs into £600 million worth of debt to build a stadium. Well, if we look at that and say, fucking hell, that's another £230 million that Daniel Levy had to go and borrow against Spurs. Well, if we're talking a European Super League that could possibly bring in €500 million a year in revenue, then that's a drop in the ocean. Rod said, none of the soccer corruption would happen in Australia. Soccer's basically Sunday league over here. Now, to be fair, Rod, the Australian league was a bit of a laughing stock this week with regards to Usain Bolt making a show of them, to be fair. Maybe I'm saying that, maybe I'm being a bit unfair here. Maybe the spotlight was shone on the Aussie League because he was saying Bolt being over there. But either way, it was a bit of a weirdo story, wasn't it? Him on trial, not getting a contract. It's just weird. Just seems a bit weird. But as I said, maybe it did give a bit of promotion to the Aussie League, so maybe I need to give them credit for that one. UEFA have just announced the best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. They want money. That's what they want. The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. They want money. That's what they want. That song is definitely going to be stuck in my head. The first time I ever heard that was in Empire Records, actually. What a fucking movie that was. Are Dortmund in the Super League? Yes, mate, they are listed as one of the German clubs along with Schalke and Bayern Munich. As Stig said there, Dortmund as an invite club. Infantino wanted a new bloated World Cup or World Club Cup. He's trying everything he can to sell football. Even the way we've seen the internationals go, it's weird. It's weird the way they've tried to sell the internationals more and make it more of a competitive thing. Can you send me the code? You were just texting on WhatsApp, please, mate. Yeah, no problem, Connor. Give me 2 seconds. I'll send it straight back to you. Okay, sorry guys, just have to text something back to Connor here. Again, as I said, bear with us. This is moving all the time, so I'm getting information back and forth here as well. We should reduce the Premier League to 10 teams and play each other 4 times. More better quality matches, said Mark Ross. I've heard some really good arguments about what should happen with English football. I'm not even going to begin to try and comprehend how to portray them to everybody, but there are people out there thinking realistically about English football. I would be of the belief that there are too many professional clubs in England. I can probably hear people screaming at me saying, shut the fuck up, you don't know what you're talking about. And you know what, you are right, but this is just my opinion. There's very few other countries that have that many professional football clubs, if there are any actually. Mossy Wossy said if they must not win the Super League they must not do the Super League for the Champions League, so only one team from the top 5 or 6 are in it. Craig, this competition would see off domestic cup competitions. It would change everything about football as we know it. Absolutely everything. There would be no Liverpool-Everton games. There would be no Arsenal-Spurs if Arsenal are in this. There would be no Chelsea-Spurs. There would be Manchester derbies, to be fair, because both those clubs are in it. But tribalism would almost be out of football. It's mad. And there's like your away games then. Let's think about it from that perspective as well. There's no more booking the train, jumping on a train down to London to go to a game. Away games could be in fucking Turkey. Away games could be in Spain, Germany. Again, more money out of the fans' pockets. More money for travelling football fans around the world. Are the clubs going to fucking fund this? Are they going to fund it? Because they won't care. They know that they'll sell out the stadiums whether there's away fans there or not. Actually, truth be known, some of the clubs probably don't want away fans getting near games. They'd much rather just have a stadium completely partisan full of home fans. Ask what the chat was, night, said Paul. I don't know what that means. Wouldn't be surprised if Ramos becomes the UEFA president in the future. Oh, can you imagine? Absolutely mental. Right, we will get back to this later on, but I feel like we've spoken about it for long enough at this moment in time. This is a Liverpool stream first and foremost, guys. So let's get talking about Liverpool Football Club, and let's get talking about the game against Arsenal tomorrow. As I said, I've done my list out for this one, so again, bear with me. I just want to pull it up here. I think I've deleted that one, have I? Right, here we go. Yeah. Perfect. Right, let's get talking to Liverpool Arsenal. The gaffer confirmed in his press conference today that Jordan Henderson and Naby Keita are still a little bit away from being fit to start, so the game comes a little bit too soon for these. So again, thinking about that and knowing for a fact that we don't have Jordan Henderson, we don't have Naby Keita, got me thinking about the Liverpool starting 11. I'll get on and give you guys mine in a second. I just want to read some more stuff from the press conference today. Klopp also went on to say that there is no injury concern around Mohamed Salah and the taping around his hand that people were worried about. He said, Mo, it's nothing really serious. It's a kind of inflammation of the tendon. That's pretty much all. It was only for protection. The pictures you saw were only protection and it has no influence. So good news there. No injury for Mohamed Salah. Just precautionary, which is fucking great news, let's be honest. Because when we seen it, I know yesterday a couple of you guys were asking me about it. It was worrying. When you see any player strapped up like that, it's definitely worrying. On that, and we spoke about Jordan Henderson there a couple of seconds ago, and this will all lead into the starting 11, so please just humour me for a second. There was a piece in the Echo today that suggested that Jurgen Klopp, going forward, will keep faith with Jordan Henderson for the big games over Fabinho. It said... Sorry, I'm just reading through. Yeah, so basically the article said that Jurgen Klopp going forward will keep faith with Jordan Henderson for the big games ahead of Fabinho. I want to know what you guys think about that. Do you agree? Or do you think that maybe there's a situation where we'll see both Fabinho and Henderson starting some of these big games and we'll play with two deeper lying midfielders? But swinging this back around to tomorrow, the starting 11 for the game. I've done my one out once again. Let me know what you guys think. I've gone back and forth on this because we've had conversations during the week with regards to the right back situation. Was it going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold? Would we perhaps play Dejan Lovren at centre back and move Joe Gomez over to right back? For me, I've stuck to my guns on this one, guys, and I've gone for a starting 11 of Alisson Becker in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, two centre backs of Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez, left back Andy Robertson. Three central midfielders then, I've gone for James Milner, Fabinho, Gini Wijnaldum, and then of course the front three for me would be unchanged: Mohamed Salah, Roberto Firmino and Sadio Mane. That would be my 11. Of course, do let me know yours. Louise has gone for Alisson Becker, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robbo, Shaqiri, Milner, Fabinho, Mo Salah, Bobby Firmino and Sadio Mane. So pretty similar team there from Louise, although she's put Shaqiri in instead of Gini Wijnaldum, which of course I completely understand as well. I mean, if that was the team tomorrow, I wouldn't bat an eyelid. I'd be more than happy. Connor sent me a really interesting stat today. I want to pull this one up again because I don't like getting things wrong, but Connor sent me an image with some running stats, which was a little bit unusual because it's not usually the type of stuff me and Connor are sending towards each other. But he sent me a yoke today that was put up, and again I want to give credit to this one. It was put out by LFC Transfer Room, so that's at LFC Transfer Room. They listed off the fastest runs made by Liverpool players this year and their speed. So in 7th place was Roberto Firmino, who had ran 20.9 miles per hour. The 6th fastest Liverpool player so far this season has been Mo Salah with a similar speed, 20.9 miles per hour. Number 5 on the list of fastest Liverpool players was Andrew Robertson at 21 miles per hour. Number 4, Trent Alexander-Arnold, 21.1 miles per hour. And so here we move, guys. The top 3 fastest Liverpool players so far this season. In number 3, Sadio Mane with 21.4 miles per hour. Number 2, and this is a massive surprise to me, the second fastest run made by a Liverpool player this season, Virgil van Dijk, 21.5 miles per hour. Anybody want to have a stab at who the fastest is? Who's the fastest sprint or the fastest run made by a Liverpool player so far this season? Anybody want to have a guess before I read it out? I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to have a pop at it. Of course, some of you guys may have seen this already, because I know the LFC Transfer Room is a fairly big account, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. Yeah, you guys have seen it, or either that or you're all fucking geniuses, one or the other. It was, of course, Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez came in at 21.6 miles per hour. Officially then the fastest Liverpool run so far this season, which is absolute fucking madness. The top 2 were centre backs, Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez. Now, don't everybody ever say to us again that we don't have pace in our centre backs. That was madness. It was a great stat. I really enjoyed reading that, and I'm not really one for statistics, but when Connor sent me that one, it did make me chuckle, because if I had to guess, I would have got that completely wrong. Stig said Robbo claimed that Joe Gomez is the fastest at LFC. I did see that one, mate, and he's right. He's been proven right. Craig, it doesn't surprise me that Virgil is that fast, said Stephen Richards. I have to be honest, it does fucking surprise me. I didn't think he'd be the second fastest. I honestly didn't. Maybe it's because he's got those big long strides or something. I don't know, but it's brilliant. It's great to know that we've got 2 really quick centre backs. As Dirty Girl said, interesting. That's pretty much how I seen it as well. Didn't see that one coming, have to admit. Craig, how long do you have to be here to get mod? I've been here for 2 weeks. A lot longer than 2 weeks, mate, if I'm being honest. You're probably talking months at this point. But again, don't think anything by it. It doesn't make you any better or worse than anybody else, mate. Mods, they don't really, it doesn't mean anything. It's just our little way of saying thank you to regulars, really. But we love each and every one of you, and thank you all for being here with us on these streams. So don't think anything of it, mate. We love you just as much as we love anybody else, and appreciate you, of course, as much as anybody else. Don't think Virgil's that surprising. He's big and strong, said Cask Strength. Virgil's got those long ass legs, said Cameron. It was the Chelsea game, wasn't it, with that Willian goal, said Alpha G. Them 2 centre backs could win the Grand National. That's a belter from Tom Boland. There you go. Put your money down. Next Grand National, Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk. You know, put them to place. You know, you'd be sound then. If one of them finishes, you'd be grand. On FIFA 19, Gomez is slow. How the fuck, said Mossy Wossy. Well, I'm sure somebody will be onto them. Somebody will be onto fucking EA Sports saying, get your finger out of your ass. Have you not seen how fucking quick Joe Gomez is? You get that card updated quick, smart. Our defence is unreal, said Brian. Clavin must have been the fastest runner with the ball when he was at the club. He did have those beautiful step overs as well, mate. Let's not forget that. Ragnar Klavan was the king of step overs for Liverpool centre backs. Stevie Richards said Craig Virgil is like a big giraffe, tall and can run out a line, or can outrun a line, excuse me. Craig, where do you rank our defence in the whole world? I would say 1 or 2. Wow, that's a big claim, mate. It's a big, beautiful claim, Alpha G. Don't get me wrong. I don't know. I honestly don't know, mate. I'm just thankful that we have a defence that is now as good as it is. I don't know where to rank them in the world, but I'd rank them in the top 3 in the Premier League. I mean, I'd be that bold, but after that, I probably don't know enough about defences around the world to rank them that well, to be fair. But they're pretty damn good. That much I'm happy to say. It's some change around for the past 18 months. Who would have thought we'd been here talking about perhaps Liverpool having one of the best defences in the world? Brian said, never surprised me VVD is the best at anything. Said, it's a fair point, Brian. How should we be surprised at this point? VVD is just fucking mustard anyway. Connor said, running stats are a bit skewed at times, to be fair. The 2 centre-backs would have more chance to make busting runs back on the counter-attack. There he goes again, pissing all over me cornflakes. Connor, come on, just let me have this one. Let me have this, buddy. Let me have Joe Gomez being the fastest. The front 3 usually don't get much space to run into as defences sit back. Do you know what, Connor? Just thinking about that. Do you remember the counter-attack against, was it against Arsenal that was filmed from the tunnel at Anfield? That looked a lot faster than 21.6 fucking miles an hour to me when it went by. That was just like, get up, Pong. Who remembers that ad? Get up, Pong. Don't know if that aired outside the UK actually, so people might be thinking, what the fuck is this idiot talking about? Hopefully you guys in the UK and Ireland get what I'm talking about. Get up, Pong. Our defence is top class like our attack. We want Ragnar back. Pure legend. I don't think we could afford Raggy at this point. I mean, when you let world class players like that go, you very rarely get them back. Fabinho in midfield looks tasty. He can make them tackles, get Emre thinking how to stop him pushing up. Everything I've read this week, even in the media, seems to suggest everybody is just confident that Liverpool are going to rock up at the Emirates tomorrow and take the 3 points. Even look at the betting odds. Last I checked, Liverpool were 19-20 on to win at Arsenal, and I think Arsenal were almost 3-1, maybe 2.5-1, something like that, to win at home against Liverpool. There's a lot of confidence in Liverpool this season from everybody, which is beautiful to see. And if we want to be considered a team challenging for the Premier League, you got to ask yourself, would we be expecting Manchester City to go and beat Arsenal at the Etihad? And the answer is yes, we would. So therefore, if we want to be talked about in that conversation with that in the same breath as City, then we've got to go and do the same thing. We've got to go to the Etihad, take 3 points and move on. Cask Strength said, I think Atletico is a show for one of the best defences. Craig, we're going to win the league, said Stephen Richards. I certainly hope so. Right guys, a quick break for 1 second before we move on to talk about more about the Arsenal game, because that's why we're here tonight really. It is a countdown to the game at the Emirates tomorrow. I just want to take a second to talk about yesterday's issue with YouTube. I don't know how many of you guys were on yesterday, or how many of you guys seen the stream that we did yesterday. Basically, YouTube have once again refused us monetization, refused us a partnership program, which means we can't bring in ad revenue and we cannot take super chats and stuff like that on the channel. What does that mean? You hear you asking. It doesn't really mean much for you guys, but for me and Connor it means a lot, because it means the future of the channel has been put into doubt for us, because the channel can no longer become a self-funding, self-sustaining channel. So myself and Connor have to sit down this week and try and look at other ways to try and keep the channel afloat and keep this good ship steady. So in the meantime, if anybody wants to help us out and anybody wants to give us a once-off donation or anything to keep the channel going, and again, there is no pressure on this one, guys. We never want anybody doing anything that they're not comfortable with or anything that they can't afford. But if anybody does want to, I've dropped it into the chat there now. It's a pretty straightforward link. You can give a once-off payment of whatever you're comfortable with. If it's not for you, ignore it. It's just something I had to bring up because it's your channel. This is a community channel. This is our second time applying and our second time being refused for ridiculous reasons, I have to say. Going back to the reason, again, I just want to pull up the exact phrase for people who weren't here yesterday. I know we actually had quite a low number for the stream yesterday, so a lot of people probably would have missed this conversation. Where is it gone? Connor sent it to me, so I just want to make sure. Here it is. So we were refused because of reused content. Reused content could be audiovisual works like TV shows and movies, sound recordings, musical compositions, visual and written works including paintings, posters, articles and books, yada yada yada. To us that makes absolutely fucking no sense, because we don't reuse any content. We make original content. We don't use songs, we don't use other people's videos, we don't put up clips of games. We do absolutely nothing to reuse content. All our content is original on here. It's live, it has to be original. So we don't understand what the fuck is going on. No idea to figure out, or to try and figure out what the fuck we can do with YouTube. As I said, this is 7 months going on now. This is the second time we have applied and been refused. We meet all the criteria to be monetized. All of them. We not just meet them, we more than quadruple every single one of them. It is what it is there, guys. But look, I just had to say it because someday you may come on here and the channel may not be here. And if that was to ever happen for some reason, I just want to let you guys know why that might be the case. Hopefully me and Connor can sit down this week and work something out, because nobody wants to close the channel. We put too much work into it. But at the same time, we've got some donations off people that have allowed us to do some brilliant things, to build a website to keep this thing going on. But if we're going to be putting out new podcasts, we're going to be making more content. All of this is coming out of Conor and mine's pocket, so we can't continue to do that long term. So we were hoping that YouTube played ball with us, but until we can figure that out, we're in a bit of a hard place for the time being. Anyway, back to Liverpool. Let me just pull up my stats again. There's one more story that we haven't even talked about yet today. I'm saving it for the end because it's a bit of a, not a good news story, but it's a little bit different from the stuff we've been talking about so far tonight. Fabinho midfield looks tasty. He can make them tackles and get everybody thinking. Guys, who do you think's better, Steven Gerrard or James Milner? It's a ridiculous question, Jack. To be fair, mate, it's a ridiculous question. Steven Gerrard is 10 times the player James Milner is, mate. Steven Gerrard is Steven Gerrard. Since VVD made his debut, us and Atletico Madrid have the best defences in Europe, said Ferno. Craig, we're going to win the league, said Stephen. I'll take your word for it, mate. I like to believe you. What else we got? That was Connor. Where was Connor's thing? Sorry, I'm just trying to find a comment from Connor, so I don't want to miss it in case it was something important. Craig, would you like us to sign Insigne? No, mate, I don't think he's good enough, if I'm being honest. Very good player. Oh, I mean, I'm not saying Insigne shit, far from it. I just don't think he's a Premier League type of footballer. I don't think he'd really fit in with us. In Europe this year, we'll level with Atletico for the best defence. Where was the comment, Connor? Oh, Mundo Sporto has a new journal, apparently, said Connor. Scott Chegg. So yeah, we've employed a new guy at Mundo Sporto. Craig, do you think Sean Dundee was one of our worst players? Again, yes, probably. But again, there's been a few Paul Konchesky, I rest my case. Andre Voronin, there's been a few absolute beauties. What's happening with PSG and Manchester City? I'm kind of lost. I haven't kept up to date with the latest news. Really quickly, because I've gone over this a couple of times. So the breaking news coming from Der Spiegel via Football Leaks is they allege that PSG and Manchester City have bribed UEFA. In Manchester City's case, it was via French President Nicolas Sarkozy, and in PSG's case, it was Gianni Infantino and Michel Platini. These are to avoid FFP sanctions, by the way, and this information, as we said, does come from Der Spiegel. Look, there's lots of stuff on there. We haven't really have had the time to go through it properly yet, so that's the long and short of what we can tell you about it anyway, mate. Arsenal struggle against elite teams like us. I'm confident we'll win. Craig, would you like us to sign Insigne? Just did that one. What else we got? Evening Red, sorry I'm late, what did I miss, said Keane Mooney. Ooh, Keane, mate, you've missed a lot. An awful lot. All I'll say is look up Der Spiegel, mate. That's probably the best way to sort this out, and you'll have a clue what we're talking about there. Not many of you guys have given me your team selection actually for tomorrow. Anybody got anything different to what myself or Louise put up? Anybody think Gomez will start at right back? Prediction for the game for Louis tomorrow is 3-2 win for the Reds. And Tony Kelly asked as well, would you take Insigne in January, healthy backup partner for Shaqiri? Not if it was at the cost of somebody like Nabil Fekir, but if it was against somebody like Aaron Ramsey, then possibly. But I just think there's better out there. I don't mean to disrespect Insigne because, you know, he's having a really good season for Napoli. He can do amazing things. I've seen him be greedy. I've seen him take too much out of the ball. I've seen him take on too much responsibility as well at Napoli at times during my time watching them. But there's, you know, he's a quality player. I just don't think he'd suit the Premier League personally. But I could be way wrong. This is just my humble opinion. Usain Bolt clocked 27.8 miles per hour, said Megan Onke. Fucking hell. I mean, that's quick. It's quick. It's not Joe Gomez quick now, but it's quick. We need to start the game well tomorrow, says Zeta or Zeta, excuse me if I mispronounced that. Do you think you're going to get... You think you keep getting refused because you're not family friendly? YouTube is a bunch of snowflakes. Absolutely not, fair enough. No, it's nothing to do with the language, buddy. We can be marked as explicit, and we can be limited to what type of advertisers that we can be open to. So that option is there to YouTube if they felt that our language wasn't family friendly. So no, that isn't the reason, mate. And well, it's not the reason that we've been made aware of anyway. Craig, YouTubers let all sorts of shite on. Why are they giving you a hard time? I've no idea, mate. As we said, we've seen YouTube channels that are monetized that literally show fucking clips of football games, and that's all they do. Connor said he came across one the other day that just shows Simpsons episodes. All this is copyrighted content, but they're monetized. It's mad. I honestly have no idea. We never, ever, 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 ever use anybody else's content on here. Ever. Could be your background of Anfield, mate. No, it's original picture, so can't be that either. You're as original as it gets, Craig and Connor. And even on that one, Mossy Wossy, we've tried changing that and applying as well. We've used other ones, and again, same thing. Could it be the picture on the blue screen? No, because nobody owns that. It's not a copyright image that we know of. Because to make that a copyrighted image, we'd have to know who owns the original of the image. Nobody that I'm aware of knows the image, the copyright of the image. The image hasn't been doctored. We haven't cut out the name of the owner of the image in the corners. We haven't tried to hide it. We haven't nicked it from anybody else we're aware of. And of course, if that was the reason, we would be more than happy to change it. It's just that we're not being told. It's all guesswork. You would imagine that if you applied to the bank for a loan, and the bank came back and said, we can't give you a loan, that you could turn around to the bank and say, okay, do you mind me asking why? And you would hope that they'd say, well, look, you missed a direct debit here, or your account went overdrawn here, or whatever the reason might be. All we're getting is, you've done this, and not told what this is. Not given an example of what we did wrong, or not told how we can amend it. Just basically told, fuck you, try again in 24 days. It'll take another 3 months. You'll probably get the same answer again, because you still don't know what you're doing wrong. And best of luck trying to contact us to find out about it. Craig, what time will you start streaming tomorrow? I'm not on tomorrow, buddy. I've been saying it all week. I won't be on tomorrow for the Arsenal game. I am going out with my wife for our anniversary. We were 18 years together on Wednesday, so we're going out on Saturday, which is tomorrow, to see a comedy show. So I won't be on for the Arsenal game, unfortunately. When you watch games live, do you have sound on? Nope. No sound whatsoever off of G, buddy. We're even our viewers are so good, you guys, the mods, are so good on the channel that even if there was ever a slight reflection of something in a picture frame, you've let me know. So no sound whatsoever off of G. I watch the games in silence. The only sound that I give is my commentary. I've even often said to the people that are watching, I can't hear what's being said. I don't know if the referee has blown his whistle here or something like that. So again, I wish it was that one. Craig, unless Arsenal change their tactics, they'll get crucified. The amount of space they leave us will be a joke. If they try and play out from the back, excuse me, Neil, like they have previously this season, they will get fucking slaughtered. They can't try and be as cheeky as they can and play out from the back like that against us. With the press we're capable of, we will tear them a new asshole if they try that shit tomorrow. But again, let's wait and see what happens. Perhaps they don't know it's your pick, said Far Isle. Again, we'd be willing to try that. I mean, I'm happy to go change that picture, go another 24 days, reapply, and see if that is the issue. But how could it be? I mean, let's look over this. Let's look at our old friend Garky Pants, for instance, and his United Stand channel. What's the background they use for the games? It's Old Trafford. Pretty straightforward. And we've used other images, as you guys know. We've used some of the images from the flares around the bus greetings and stuff. And yeah, happy to change it. Happy to put a skyline of the city of Liverpool behind or whatever. But again, they would have had who they don't know. YouTube don't know who owns that copyrighted image. So YouTube would have to have a complaint, or it'd be clearly visible who we robbed that image from. YouTube don't know if Connor took this sitting in the stand before a game. For all they know, that could well be Connor's picture. Cameron said, feels like you've been around for a long time too. Maybe there's another Craig and you're imitating him. Maybe. That's a fair point. Maybe they're getting me mixed up with Bateson again. Maybe that's the whole situation here. Maybe they're like, hang on, this dude already has a fucking gaming channel. What the fuck is he trying to pull with another channel? Fucking prick. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the reason. I jest YouTube rules are bullshit. Gareth has monetization, all his stupid channels, and he streams games. It's ridiculous, mate. Some of the shit that I've seen people get away with. But look, I don't begrudge anybody else their money or their monetization. All me and Connor want to try and have is a level fucking playing field, so we can try and keep this channel afloat. YouTube are a bunch of rats, said LFC_5. Again, all we want is a level playing field, guys. YouTube are cutting their funding for everybody. There's a difference, to be fair, mate, between cutting their funding and never letting us get any. And that's kind of what we're moaning about here. You, like, for instance, let's say right now Rod wanted to send us €5 on a super chat because he has a comment that he just has to get off his chest. Every other channel, basically, he could do that, but for us, he can't. There's no way of any of you guys to send us money directly through this link or to help out the channel directly through this stream. You have to go off the stream onto one of our links on PayPal, something like that, whereas it can be done if you're monetized through. Now look, it's good for you guys to an extent, and it's good for us that we don't have our viewers getting ads every 15 minutes. I mean, from that extent, yeah, it's good. I fucking hate ads. Let's be honest, we all hate them on YouTube. It's one of the biggest pains in the arse of being on YouTube. But it's a necessary evil as well. By the way, if you do like a channel and you're on there and it's only a 10 or 15 second ad, don't click it off after 5 seconds. Watch the full 10 or 15 seconds for the channel if you like them, because they don't get paid unless the entire ad is watched. So don't just do the 5 second thing and click it, unless it's Gark and you don't want them to get paid, and then just click away. Louis' predicted LFC for tomorrow is Alisson, Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez, Trent, Gini Wijnaldum, Fabinho, Shaqiri, Mane, Firmino and Salah. If Usain Bolt can run 100 metres during Pogba's penalty run up, then Joe Gomez could run the 200 metres. There you go. You can't argue with facts, Damo. Damo, you always make me smile, buddy. Even on days where YouTube are fucking us in the ass, you you still make me smile. Now, if that doesn't get us fucked off YouTube, I don't know what will. Congrats, Mr. and Mrs. Craig, said Mossy Wossy. Thank you, mate. 18 years is a long ass time. A long time together, 18 years. Don't know how she's put up with me that long. Bad planning, Craig. You should have married on another day, said Cask Strength. Not married 18 years, mate. Jesus Christ, no. Not married 18 years. Jeez, that means we'd have got married at what, 19? No, we're together 18 years. We're married years. Will Late Night Agenda be on tomorrow and what time? It depends, mate, what time I get back from Dublin. It could be after midnight when I get back, and it depends how tired I am. So the honest answer, Subi, is I hope so, but I couldn't give you a definite. Pepper Red has joined. How are you, sir? Good sign he's not already in capital, so Pepper Red isn't angry or he's not shouting just yet. Maybe when he catches up on the whole UEFA probe thing about Manchester City and PSG, we might see some capital letters coming out. I prefer Shaqiri to Milner, although more experience in the Premier League against top teams, but Shaqiri's now better. The Raptor, no, that's just a comment to somebody else. I love Lovren, but Gomez is too good and we'll need him against the Arsenal forwards, as Aubameyang and Lacazette are quite fast. Also, I want Shaqiri to start so we can unlock their defence, since they might, I don't know, you've missed the end of that comment there, I think, buddy. I think we're going to catch them on the counter and pull their pants down, or else we're going to press them, force them into errors high up the field and pull their pants down. But either way, there's a lot of pants being pulled down tomorrow. Go deep in this game, said Ferno. Some might say balls deep. Stephen Gerrard is one of our own, said L. That's the shortest name ever. Congratulations, L. There you go. Done it. Love it. Easiest name for me to ever read out on YouTube. Well done, L. Hey Raptor, I was thinking about doing a live watch along if Craig is busy, but not by myself. Interested. Look at this. Rod and Raptor teaming up together, trying to make a band here. Get in contact with Connor and save our asses. Stephen McDonough says, hey Craig, love you too, buddy. Thank you for joining us again. Always a pleasure to have you on, as is everybody else. Cryptic Gaming, how the fuck are you not a mod? Hang on. I feel like I definitely owe you a mod, mate. There you go. No idea how you weren't a mod by now. One of those that must have slipped through the net. There you go. Pepper Red's already angry. You've never shown the Liverpool games on your channel or even heard the sound from the game once on this channel. Possibly could be the background picture. Again, That's a couple of people have mentioned the background image, but we will change that then, and let's see what happens. Again, though, they'd have to have a copyright of who owned that image. That's the thing. Are we clearly breaking the rules showing an image of the cop? Maybe we are. Maybe I'm being absolutely ignorant to this. Is the YouTube issue subs posting links just a thought? No, it's not about that, mate. It's about reusing content. That's what they're saying. We're using content that we're not allowed to use, or we're using other people's content. Again, what content are we using? I don't know. But it makes us very, very frustrated. Even Craig, is it worth trying to play some clips or highlights, etc.? Not really, because that's definitely going to get us refused, buddy, and we're trying to play with the rules. Do you mean of games or of the streams, Matt? I'm a bit confused, mate. We can't show any football highlights. As much as we'd love to, of course, we can't because it's against the rules. Don't worry, Craig, I'll get Michael Edwards to negotiate with YouTube. There you go. We'll end up owning YouTube. There was one more thing, as I said, guys. I had one more topic that I wanted to raise before we finish up tonight, and it's kind of got smothered with the rest of the news for the day because I didn't really get around to talking about it much. Any other day, this story probably would have been one of the top things on our stream. So there's reports in France today that suggest Liverpool have made an, quote, big move for PSG midfielder Adrien Rabiot. The report is believed to have originated from Spanish media outlet Mundo Deportivo. The story's on their site. Now, it's not Mundo Sporto, so it's not us again in disguise. Mundo Sportivo is or Mundo Deportivo, excuse me, is a real site. The article is on their site, actually, if you want to go and check that we're not just talking out our arse about this one. The Reds aren't the only club apparently interested in Rabiot. It's rumoured that a host of Europe's top clubs are interested. The player's contract, of course, runs out in the summer. So what do you guys think about that one? Do you think that Adrien Rabiot would be a good move for Liverpool Football Club? Do you think we can get him? Are PSG going to throw a shitload of money at him to try and get him to stay before his contract runs out? Interesting stuff. We've spoken about Rabiot a few times, even last season, and a lot of people have said how much they'd like him. But with having Fabinho in there now, but with James Milner perhaps, James Milner's legs maybe running out. How long has he got left? A couple of years. Is he an upgrade on Henderson? So many things we could talk about, but let me know. Do you want Adrien Rabiot at Liverpool, and do you think it's a genuine move that the club have made? It'll be sad if the channel dies after all the hours of work that's been put out by all of us, especially Connor and Craig. Absolutely. I don't even want to think how many hours, Mr. RJC, I've done on this channel at this point. Say roughly an hour and a half a night, which is, I think, being generous, because you know, I do longer than that. I think roughly an hour and a half a night for what, 300, 600, 200 nights maybe. Fucking hell, there's like 350 plus hours or 300 plus hours of content, and there's probably more than that, to be fair. So yeah, if you think about all those hours that have been put in, it would be a damn shame to turn off the channel, and particularly with Daz having disappeared lately as well. It would leave a fucking massive hole that I don't want to leave. Craig, what's your reaction about the Champions League being replaced by the Super League? That I don't want it to happen, Nelson, is my reaction, buddy. There's a couple of reasons why. One, it's a money grab. It's an out and out money grab to try and increase club revenues. I think it would be a massive slap in the face for football fans, particularly the home fans who have to the fans who travel away with the Reds. Imagine them having to go to Europe every single week or every second week to see games. And also you have to ask, what would it do for the tribalism aspect of the game? What would it do for rivalries? Because we wouldn't have any games against Everton, because they ain't going to be in a European Super League, let's be honest. As much as we hate the bitters, it is our local team. It is the big derby. It's the friendly derby, if you want to call it that, because you've got fans from families from different sides of the fence sitting beside each other inside the stadium. Yeah, so I'm against it personally, mate. It's just an absolute money grab. Craig, I was late on, so I didn't get to hear what you think about the Super League. I just went through that one, so hopefully that answered that for you, buddy. Christopher said, I would love that rumour of Rabiot to Liverpool to be true. Rabiot and Fekir in, said Louis. That'll do me very, very fucking nicely, Louis, mate. That'll do me indeed. Derembe in January. Can't see it happening, said Matt. There was one more there. Rabiot will be a good addition. Don't get your hopes up, said Liverpool Football Club. Klopp said he isn't buying any big players in January. But to be fair, he's hardly going to come out and say he is going to do business in January at this moment in time, is he? That would just undermine the players that he currently has there. But at the same time, he hasn't got massive history of doing big things in January, so you're pretty much right in what you said there. And then Stig said, do we need another central midfielder? I would say no, mate. But I would have also said in the summer I would have moved on Adam Lallana. And at the end of this season, I would reevaluate Jordan Henderson's position at the club. And I'm a Jordan Henderson fan. So to say that, you know how much I think, or how highly I'm rating our midfield. I actually seen somebody on Facebook say swap Fabinho for Rabiot. I shit you not. Oh, that's like absolute football manager nonsense right there. Swap the £45 million player that we just paid for the player that's going on a free. Absolutely, it must have been on crack, that person. It must have been something. It must have been sniffing glue or something. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain to come back next year, said Stig. If Rabiot can back Robbo up, then yes. If not, no. Rabiot's not a left back, so why would he be backing up Robbo? He's a midfielder. That doesn't make sense. Prediction for tomorrow, asks Alpha G. 3-1 for me, mate, to the Reds for tomorrow. 3-1. If he does join, it will be to replace Milner, who I think will go to Leeds to see out his career. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Particularly if Leeds got promoted to the Premier League, and that would be a nice story for Milner to go full circle. Mr. RJC said, and watch-alongs, match reactions, etc. So many hours. I must sit down someday and try and work it out, actually. 2 months to go until January, Craig. Silly season starting. Dembele linked again today. Let's see who signs the dotted line. I don't think anybody's going to pay, if it's Ousmane Dembele, I don't think anybody's going to pay what it is that Barcelona would be looking for him, because they paid silly money for him. Money that he isn't worth. He may be worth it someday. I mean, the guy is an immense talent, but at this moment in time, he's not worth what they paid. When will we sell Moreno and Markovic? We may never sell them. They may just end up leaving on a free at the end of the summer, or at the end of the season, excuse me. Connor said, some ITK claiming Fekir is back on. Don't play with my heart like that, he said. Look, silly season, as people have pointed out already. We're only in November and people are talking about January. The whole thing about Nabil Fekir, I mean, what would be the fucking point of not signing him in the summer and buying him in January? It just doesn't make any sense. We could have had him, bedded him in. If we buy him in January, we're basically writing off this season for him. And he's getting a year older. We've bought him in for probably more money than we would have had to have paid in the summer. For me, it just makes no sense. If we were going to do it, we should have done it in the summer. Fuck all the ITKs, they talk bullshit, said Louis. Louis, I like you more and more every day, mate. Absolutely more and more every single fucking day. We've always done good business in January. Suarez, Coutinho. Don't forget Daniel Sturridge as well, mate. Was another one Malik said in January. When do you think Salah will leave? I don't know, mate. Not for a long time. 3 years perhaps, I don't know, maybe more. He said in a recent interview that he had basically a 6-year plan to get to Liverpool, that he always wanted to come to Liverpool. So, you know, he's happy here. Don't be wishing him or wondering when he's going to leave. Just enjoy him while he's here. That's what I'm going to try and do anyway. I'm going to try and enjoy him, Mane, Firmino, Fabinho, all of them. I just like watching them play. I'm not going to worry about when they leave. I will just enjoy the time that they're here. We don't need Rabiot on a free. He's going to want massive money. His mother is his agent and she's playing PSG, said Brian. He is French as well. And is PSG his local club? Could be. So, you know, it would be easy for them to just throw a shit ton of money at him and get him to stay. But then again, if they're under FFP, if they're under some FFP trouble, then, or FFP watching, then, you know, they're going to have to be careful about what type of money they throw around, aren't they? Cask said, I hate silly season. I'm on the fence with it, mate. Sometimes it makes me laugh, but then sometimes if you want to believe something and you kind of get sucked in and then you get kicked in the bollocks, then it's not great. So I'm on the fence with it. But what I do love about silly season is when something comes up like Fabinho that absolutely nobody had a clue about, and then all of a sudden there he is on a jet landing in Liverpool to come and sign a deal, and it's a thing of beauty. Same with Virgil van Dijk. All of a sudden there's rumours that we might be signing him. Then next minute there he is, standing beside a Christmas tree holding up a shirt. Oh, what a day that was. Forget Rabiot and get the rabbit, said Rod. Yeah, Rod. Can we have your rabbit on a free transfer though? That's the thing. We can get Rabiot on a free transfer. You probably want money for your white rabbit, particularly because it's a score predicting white rabbit. Brian said, I only joined a couple of weeks ago and it's already a big part of the day. Be devastated if you had to shut down. As would I, mate. As would I. Regardless of how much money I've put into this, I don't even want to think about, as I said, the hours I put into it and the sacrifices I've made from a family perspective as well, as has Connor. Yeah, we don't want to close it down either, but we don't want to be reliant on having to ask people for donations all the time either. We want the channel to be self-sustaining. Yeah, it's shit one. And again, on that one, while we're talking about it, I will once again just put it in. I might as well. I'm talking about it. If anybody does want to help us out, the link's in there. But of course, I'm not pushing it. It's there. We'll batter the Gunners 3-1, said Liverpool legend. Harry Redknapp could have got Van Dijk for 60 million, but was advised not to because he's too slow. That, as far as I know, mate, that wasn't Harry Redknapp. That was Neil Warnock, I think, who said that. That his agent said he was, or his head scout, his chief scout said he was too slow. I'm sure that was Neil Warnock, and he said it last week. If Milner went to Leeds, I wouldn't mind. That's his childhood club and he's done so much for us. He'll forever be one of my favourite players in this Klopp era. Absolutely, mate. If Millie decides he wants to go back to Leeds to finish his career, then a handshake, a pat on the back and all our love to James Milner if he heads off. What else could you say? He's been amazing. It kind of reminds me of the time we brought in Gary McAllister. I mean, right at the end of his career, he came in and basically helped turn Steven Gerrard into the player he became. Absolutely brilliant signing. And Gary Mack is a club legend, if nothing else for that lovely free kick against Everton. The fact he stole 15 or 20 yards as well just made it even more beautiful. The free kick, I believe, if memory serves correct, that qualified us for the Champions League that year. Could have been our first qualification as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm right on that. How's the wife, said Christopher. She's excellent, thank you, mate. Excellent, yeah. Looking forward to a night out tomorrow. Still sore after the crash. She's gonna have to go through some physio, a few more doctor's visits and stuff. But thankfully, you know, she walked away, so that's the main thing. I'm hearing Jay Spearin is preparing to make a return to Liverpool. Fuck off. It's not happening. Halloween's over, so he's definitely not coming back. Rabiot was good, but I think there's better options, said Zeta. There was a few more. Hang on. What time is it? My goodness, it's 20 to 12 already. This stream has absolutely flown along. Never mind his mother, his agent. She might be a hairdresser as well. I don't think she needs to. If she's his agent, I think she probably has enough income to get her through. Salah will leave after he wins his third league title in 2022, said Brian Morrissey. Charlie Adam has transferred to Weight Watchers, source The Guardian. He'll be booted out there in 2 weeks as well. What'll happen is he'll go in for weighing day, he'll stand on the scales, your one will turn around and say, sorry Mr. Adam, you put on £2, and he'd say, do you know what, that's not my fault, that's Shaqiri's fault, it's all down to him that I put that weight on. Hope we do have a pre-season game in Cairo, the scenes, said Stig. Can you imagine? Jesus, I'd love to know how many tickets they could possibly sell out if they did. Farrell said, oh God, I look forward to this stream, to the people, for the banter, the info, the family ties. I'd be lost without it. Fingers crossed it won't come to that. That's, you know, that's the last thing we want. Yeah, so let's not worry about it closing just yet. Let's hopefully we can figure out something moving forward, but even if we can't, it shouldn't be in any immediate danger. I mean, we should be able to carry on taking it over for the time being anyway. We do have a little bit of a contingency fund. We aren't silly with our money. We've been kind of careful with the donations and stuff we've received, so there's a little bit of a contingency fund there. Anyway, Fernand, Louis said he's going to head off. Hopefully you sort things out. Great stream. Also, thank you, mate. 3-1 said Christopher tomorrow in his prediction. Weight Watchers are class. Above the MLS Yankees. Weight Watchers are fucking brilliant. Lots of love and respect to Weight Watchers. I've seen so many people do so many amazing things with Weight Watchers and other various weight loss clinics, so much love to all of them. Seriously, no joke intended there. Absolutely love and respect to anybody out there who takes the steps to go and lose weight and stuff. It's much love to all of them. I was one of those people. I want YouTube to give you money just so we can get that dream, Craig. You were on about building a few months back. The cave, the shed. I've only spoken about that with my wife yesterday. Actually, she said to me, "If YouTube can't monetize you, are you still going to try and do that?" And I said, "I don't know, love," is the honest answer. But yeah, that's how good my fucking wife is. By the way, she's given me permission already to invest some of her own family money in the long run in building a room in the back of her fucking house for the channel, which would be amazing. PC Benjamin said, "Fuck Man City, I say, Craig, I want the title." Yes, mate. Fuck Man City. Let's just leave it at that. We can even forget the last bit. We'll just say fuck Man City. You're right with that one, PC Benjamin. Everybody says Salah's a one-season wonder. Well, they're fucking idiots if they do, to be fair. But I believe next year, after his injuries worn away, he'll be as good as new. Mate, he's already doing numbers this year that are on a par with his numbers last year. So, to those people, and I'm not accusing you of this, sir, but to those people who are calling him a one-season wonder, they are fucking idiots. Mo Salah is far too good to be a one-season wonder. I mean, to be fair, Harry Kane had to go through that shit as well for, 3 or 4 years? Kept being called a one-season wonder, but yet he kept putting up numbers every single year. Let's bust out the score prediction, said Cass Strength. Why not? Seems as good a place as any to kind of end up tonight's stream. Cryptic Gaming's going for a 2-1 win for the Reds. I think he means 2-1 win for the Reds. He's going for 2-1. I'm predicting that that's for the Reds. Cask Strength is going for 3-1. I myself, I'm going for 3-1 as well. The Raptors going for a clean sheet and a 2-0 win. Mr. RJC thinks Bobby will score tomorrow. Craig, your wife is a saint. You're right, Christopher, but mate, you've got no idea quite how much of a saint she is. Imagine having to live with and put up with me on a daily basis. I wouldn't do it, and I'm me. So the fact that she can do it, God bless her. She is. I say God bless her. I keep saying I'm not religious, but she's an amazing woman. She really is. 4-2 to the Reds, 2-0 up at half time, said Brian Morrissey. Pepper Red said 3-1. They'll scam a penalty. By Cryptic Gaming. Shaqiri hat-trick for Rod. Jesus, that's a prediction and a half, Rod. Arsenal will be lucky if we don't score 5. I'm loving this confidence. LFC Legend, good night to you, sir. Can't wait for tomorrow's game. Confident, keep up the good work. We're Liverpool, says Teo. Teo, always great to have you on the stream, mate. Thank you for joining us. And I hope you enjoy the game tomorrow as well, mate. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. Malik said, if we score early tomorrow, it can easily be 4 or 5 for us. Fuck Man City, said Alpha G. Absolutely. Fuck them. What I can't get over in all of the news that we've taken from tonight, all the stories that have gone around about FFP, all the stories that are going around about the European Super League, all the stories about financial improprieties and bribes. The one thing that I find more disgusting than anything else is the alleged email from a Manchester City employee when one of the 7 people investigating their financial fair play improprieties died. The email apparently said 1 down, 6 to go, or 1 dead, 6 to go. If that's true, regardless of any of the other stuff, the financial stuff, that is fucking sickening. That is absolutely sickening. That is above and beyond anything that they could ever have thrown at us as a fan base. I mean, we've heard about this fucking can of Copperberg time and time again, but if one of their employees was so disrespectful as to put out that email, and I have to say if, because none of us know for sure, if it's proven to be true, that is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen from the inside of a football club in all my time watching football. Again, we'll give everybody benefit of the doubt though, because none of us know. These are all just accusations at this moment in time. But fuck Man City anyway. In all honesty, fuck them for various other reasons. Nothing to do with this. Just fuck them for their bunch of plastic useless pricks. Just fuck them all. Each and every one of them. Fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. Fuck them when they're going to Wembley and singing about us. Fuck them when they're trying to create rivalries. Fuck them when they're empty stadium. Fuck them moaning about the can of Copperberg. Fuck them moaning that we knocked them out of the Champions League last year, making excuses. Fuck them. What time's the game start tomorrow? Asks Ian Turlington. 5:30, mate. 5:30 kickoff. It's on BT Sport. I don't think Arsenal will hold back, so it could be a goal fest. They usually are quite. I think it's the last 5 games has been an average of 3.5 goals or 3.25 goals, something like that. I heard some absolute rat rob the Leicester shirt from the Memorial. That, oh my god, if that's true, that, like, and again, this is just another accusation, but who would do that? I honestly don't know, mate. The world, sometimes you are shocked, but at the same time you're not shocked, if you get where I'm coming from. There are some absolute fucking weapons in this world. Copperberg are the most hated berg since the Titanic, said Farwell. Copperberg's fucking delicious, by the way. I'm not a cider drinker, but big fan of Copperberg. Occasional summer glass of Copperberg. And I'm not a big drinker, as I've said, but you know, a can of Copperberg over ice in a pint glass, quite delicious. I actually agreed with Gark's tweet today saying about no amount of money can buy fans and credible history. Again, he's just doing a big lick arse, isn't he? Oh, Gark trying to get Liverpool fans on side. Oh, Liverpool fans, I love you. All of a sudden I've realised that the error of my ways and that Liverpool fans aren't the scum of the earth. Let me turn on Manchester City and Chelsea fans. Oh, Mo Salah, you're so amazing. Oh, Liverpool fans, I love you. Fuck off, Gark. Honest to God. There is the LFC and there is the Leicester FC. Any LFC fan worth his salt will be heartbroken at the loss and devastation that they've been through. May I put my humble respect to the club and city, said Christopher Barrett. Beautiful gesture, Christopher, and obviously a sincere one. This week must have been an unbelievably tough week for the club, the fans, the players, anybody involved with Leicester City, the family of those who were lost. I don't even want to begin to guess at what they've gone through, but as you said, mate, our humble respect and love are with them at this time, and it's easy to say that, but I know that from a footballing perspective, from all football fans around the world, I know that they truly do mean that. Brian said some lad robbed one from outside the Thai embassy in London. Fucking hell, is there no decency left in humanity? Mr. RJC said, is there any hope for humanity? Maybe depopulation may be the way forward. City will never match our history. We are Liverpool. Damn right they won't. Brown nose Gark. So this cunt walks up to me, and I'm wearing an LFC shirt, by the way, and he's wearing a Leicester shirt, and he looks at me, looks at the stain on your shirt, and I go, what? I'm trying to read out this comment cryptic game and I have no idea what you're saying. I've no idea what you're trying to say there, mate. I'm gonna have to just pass on that one. Fuck Gark, said Brian. Fuck Gark indeed. We'll put him in the pile over there with fuck Manchester City. I'm not a big drinker either. I'm only 5'5", said Martin. It's always the simple ones that make me smile, mate. Beer cans were more solid when I was a kid, said Rod. I'd love a beer to numb this cold, said Mr. RJC. Right, guys, look, we've been through a lot tonight. This has been one hell of a fucking stream. I'll go back, we'll do a quick recap for those of you that joined us late. So the breaking news tonight, the big news, I suppose, from a non-Liverpool perspective, although it does involve Liverpool to a certain extent. Football Leaks and Der Spiegel have claimed that Manchester City and PSG have bribed UEFA officials via Gianni Infantino and Michel Platini in PSG's case, and ex-France President Nicolas Sarkozy with regards to Manchester City's case, all to avoid FFP sanctions, FFP meaning financial fair play. It's also alleged that 16 European clubs, including Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool and Arsenal, plan to sign a letter of intent later this month to start plans for establishing a new European Super League to replace the Champions League starting from 2021. Yeah, so that's based. There's more and more and more little bits and pieces. But again, one of the things that I pulled out of this was apparently some of the bigger clubs, if this European Super League was to take place, could earn in excess of €500 million revenue a season. That's ridiculous. €500 million from revenue in one season. Absolute madness. So look guys, we'll see how this develops over the weekend. As I said, I may not be on tomorrow at any point. I certainly won't be here for the game because I'm away with the wife. With regards to the future of the channel, hang with us. Myself and Connor are going to sit down, drill through some numbers and see what we can figure out over the course of the next week or so. But as always guys, thank you. Enjoy the game tomorrow. I'm fucking so sad that I won't get to watch it. Obviously I want to go out with the wife and enjoy ourselves, and you know, she deserves a night out. But at the same time, fucking Arsenal, it's a big game. But look guys, enjoy the weekend. I'll talk to you on Sunday if I don't see you tomorrow. Love and respect as always to everybody. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream as well. I don't think I've said that in the entire stream tonight. And of course don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. Enjoy your weekends guys. Love and respect to all your families, and up the motherfucking Reds.